We start right away with continuing coverage tonight as the search for a missing 3-year-old boy in South Toledo wraps up for a second day. Look, they do understand the situation. They don't want their staff or their customers to get sick with this virus, but at the very same time, they also don't want to lose their livelihoods. They're split up by a state's population based on the U.S. Census. Ohio, for example, has 18 electoral votes. Michigan has 16. California has the most with 55. That's exactly right, Mel and Jeff. Sergeants Matt Gobble and Kevin Neighbors remain on the TPD force tonight. And many of our viewers are asking how exactly after an internal affairs report uncovered numerous allegations of sexual harassment. There's an old saying that goes, fences make the best neighbors. And that may be especially true in today's divided political landscape. But here in Rossford, differing politics means very little to two longtime neighbors. It's difficult to measure the success of this directive because Toledo's buying habits haven't changed. But the mayor points to two positive developments. Tragedy strikes in Toledo on this Independence Day as a Toledo police officer is gunned down overnight. Tonight, those closest to Narion Greer are remembering him as a kind soul, a hard worker, and a boy whose life has gone far too soon. You may have noticed some stores have banned reusable bags during the pandemic, instead only allowing disposable bags. But even so, could one of these give you the coronavirus? Let's verify. But on January 27th, it wasn't a bill that Henry got in the mail. It was this letter from the USPS saying his mailbox could no longer be in his driveway. New numbers from the Ohio State Highway Patrol tonight show many folks stayed off the road over the last 3 months, but those who didn't had a need for speed. Well, on a typical summer Tuesday in Put-in-Bay, the road behind me would likely be flooded with people like many others. But tonight, most restaurants are fairly empty, if not shuttered altogether. Hotels are nowhere near full capacity, and a place that usually puts on one giant party is anything but. I'm Tyler Paley outside the Huntington Center as well, where cleanup efforts are well underway tonight. But if you can think back just a few hours ago, it was absolutely a deafening scene outside this rally here from about 3 o'clock until about an hour or two after the president's rally ended. Well, you won't have to go far to see all the new 2020 car models. That's because the Toledo Auto Show kicks off today. Michelle Backus live at the Seagate Convention Center with more. Michelle, it looks like you're scoping out your new ride. It's imperative that we all stay home right now, but what about those who are moving to a different home? It's a reality some say they didn't anticipate facing during an outbreak. But a shortage of bikes at the shop means plenty out at the park as folks try to get outside and get some exercise while still maintaining that social distancing. Toledo will once again be center stage in the boxing world as Jared Anderson and DeAndre Ware will throw on the gloves in front of a national audience on ESPN. The organization also has additional resources and a full list of renters' rights on its website. On a quiet street in Wauseon, Jennifer Weiland is settling in. She moved here in September with her kids, including 4-year-old Erica, who suffered an anoxic brain injury years ago.
She has a feeding tube that goes into her stomach. She gets all her food from the bags. With her ventilator, she has water bags that hang up to give her like humidifiers so she doesn't dry out.
Erica now requires 24/7 care, which means a lot of medical supplies.
When you walked in, those are her monthly deliveries. They come in boxes, and that's in addition to I have 2 other children, a normal household with garbage.
So Jennifer ordered a private dumpster to dispose of her trash. It's not hazardous, just copious. But just months after moving in, she received notices in the mail.
They were telling me that I wasn't allowed to have a residential dumpster within city limits, and that only businesses are allowed to have dumpsters within city limits in Wauseon.
But it appears that may not be true. The letter Jennifer received cites a specific ordinance, including language about dumpsters. But we reviewed the law. Dumpsters are never mentioned.
We receive a complaint. The law is spelled out specific. If there isn't a variance issued, it's in violation, and we have to follow it.
I said, well, you're looking at minimum 14 bags a week and probably a half a dozen trash cans between her waste and the household waste. And with my disability and walking with a cane, that's not, something feasible for me to do.
Jennifer filed an appeal with the city, and a panel will decide her fate later this month.
We've done just about everything that we can at this point in time. If she gets the variance, as long as she follows the code, we have no problem with it.
In Wauseon, Tyler Paley, WTOL 11.
911, what's going on?
Tonight, newly released 911 audio gives a glimpse into the scary scene that unfolded early Sunday in Sylvania Township.
What's going on there?
Somebody kicked down our front door and ran through our house.
It wasn't long after that police located the suspect, 24-year-old Eduardo Parra. Authorities say Parra claimed he had a weapon. That's when Officer Kyle Andrews shot and killed him. No weapon was recovered. It's the third shooting by Sylvania Township Police in recent months. Does it concern you at all that there are 3 shootings within 13 months among your officers, 2 of which turned fatal?
Well, certainly. I mean, any chief, any head of a department would say you have to take a look at each incident. Each incident is completely distinct and unique in itself, and all 3 of these were.
I hear about these types of instances very regularly.
Philip Stinson is a criminal justice professor at BGSU who studies policing and deadly force.
It's absolutely imperative that local police officers, patrol officers, are equipped with body-worn cameras.
But none of Sylvania Township's 44 sworn officers have one. Chief Paul Long says it's because they're expensive.
I'm a fan of body cameras. I think it's a great tool. I'm above board, transparent in everything we do here, so I don't have a problem with them. It's just an initial outlay of them. It's just quite costly.
Long estimates an initial investment around $200,000 with yearly maintenance and storage fees. But Stinson says in situations like these, cameras are worthwhile investments for justice.
Most of these cases are found to be legally justified. However, it's often problematic when we don't have video evidence. The police own the narratives in these situations.
Tonight, Ohio's Bureau of Criminal Investigation is examining that shooting. Reporting in Sylvania Township, Tyler Paley, WTOL 11.